It was about a month ago now. We went to Dreamworld in Australia.
Australia.
As you can see, we're both wearing merch. In the year of 1974, there was a guy named John Longhurst. He had a dream of creating a theme park, so he bought land in hopes of using that land to create a theme park.
He had a dream, so he created Dreamworld.
This is where the controversy sets in. So he walked on that land or whatever, but then when the theme park was officially starting to become a thing, he hired previous Disney Imagineers that helped create Disney World and Disneyland. Some people could say it's copying, but some people could also say it's using inspiration.
I mean, I guess when you actually think about it, Max Martin made all these hits with Britney Spears, and then Taylor Swift used him to make 1989. Is she copying Britney? She just is using someone who she likes their past work to work on her new work.
You hit the nail on the head, yeah. So the entrance of Dreamworld does look kind of similar to Disneyland and Disney World, but
Allegedly.
I mean, it's not really alleged. If you look at the photos, they do look pretty similar.
Huh. People actually consider it the Disney World of Australia, I think online at least.
Dreamworld also has mascots, Cunny Koala and Belinda Brown. Those are the two koalas that are the mascots. And
The Mickey and Minnie, if you will.
I don't know completely the lore of Cunny the koala and Belinda Brown, but I'm just gonna assume they're kind of dating. Like, wait, were Mickey and Minnie dating? Or
Yeah, they always had tension.
Oh, okay.
Same with these koalas. Like, you could tell, like, they're keeping it cute for the family theme park, but obviously, like, when they're alone, like, shit goes down.
Right after entering Dreamworld, you step into Main Street. This is one of the several themed areas in the theme park. This area is just a very cute part. It's like you live in a perfect city, a utopia, if you will.
A dream world. So colorful.
You also see a big logo for Dreamworld. It's like the entire Earth and then Dreamworld in front of it. And I was kind of thinking that it does look similar to the Universal Studios theme park, like entrance thing.
Oh yeah, they also have a spinning globe.
Oh my gosh, there's a place to make a wish. My wish was that I wasn't living in a dream. I just hope that what I'm experiencing right now is reality.
But you're in Dreamworld, so obviously it's a dream. I'm not gonna disclose my wish because it's offensive.
There's a few places to shop on Main Street, like Fairy Tale Treasures, a coffee shop, Fudge and Nut Place, an ice cream parlor. We actually didn't even stop for any of these places because simply we do not care. No, we actually just didn't have a desire to.
I think at one point I did step in one because you were on a ride and I didn't go on, so I was walking through one of them, and then I realized I was in a little girl fairy store, and then I felt like a predator or something. I was like, why? I just felt like it was weird that I was in there alone without a kid. You know what I mean? I thought it was fun. Like, oh, look at all this. But I realized, like, oh, wait, like I'm the creep here. And then, like, everyone kicked me out. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean anything. Like, I actually was just looking at the dresses.
You just made up that whole story. No one got mad at you.
I know, but I did.
So far, it was all typical theme park stuff. You hear people yelling, you see crazy rides. But I did really love that it felt like we were in nature still. There was a bunch of greenery scattered around this theme park. Give them a high five for that, because I like feeling like you're in nature.
Everything seemed really well done, you know? It wasn't like it was just half-assed, all stapled, like it actually put effort in.
It was about 11 o'clock in the morning, but I thought this was a good time to go on my first coaster. It's called Stale Taipan. That's a snake that's native to Australia. And can we just talk about naming roller coasters after snakes? That's like a very big thing. The Mamba. I swear I've been on a ride that's called Cobra.
I was just thinking that
Python.
Cobra. Yeah, it's just, I guess that makes sense because there's slithering around and then the track slithers around. See, I thought it was more of a dinosaur or something because of the entrance. You know, it looks like those like dinosaur bones, but I guess that's the spine of a snake.
This coaster opened in 2021, so it is very new. And I do have to admit, I was hesitant to go on any of the rides at Dreamworld because it does have a lot of controversy. There's been deaths at Dreamworld. Also, they've shut down so many rides over the years.
Maybe that makes it safer once there's a death. So they're like, we really got to get our stuff together. You know, whereas if you go to a theme park where no one's died, they're kind of like, oh, we got it down. Like, stop checking all the time. But now they're probably like, okay, we have to really like check.
This ride said it was going to take 30 minutes, and I immediately realized, wait, I'm the only one going on these roller coasters, so why would I be waiting in these lines? Because then you guys are just going to be waiting in lines for nothing. So I decided to do the big splurge and get a fast pass. This is a really insane roller coaster. So you go up this hill, and then you go backwards up this other part of the roller coaster, and it kind of gets scary because at first when I saw this roller coaster, I thought it wasn't finished. I was like, wait, why is there just like a blank part over there? Are they still working on it, but they're letting people ride it? But no, that's part of the roller coaster.
It's supposed to look like you're about to fly off or something, right? That's the vibe it gives. Because yeah, it does look very unfinished.
Then you gain so much momentum, and basically the rest of the roller coaster is like a Arby's curly fry. You're basically living the life of a curly fry.
Ding, 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 ding.
It was honestly gave me a lot of energy. This was like a cup of coffee in the morning.
Did all these have photos, by the way?
Yeah, they did take a photo on this roller coaster, but I didn't buy any of the photos. But if you guys want to see what I did on the roller coaster, it was probably this face. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to the point in life where I fully have listened to Madonna. I don't really know how to express myself yet.
You'd rather keep it
Express yourself. I know how to express myself around people that I know, but I don't know how to express myself on a roller coaster. There was also multiple points on the coaster where I kind of ducked my head because I always get kind of scared. Like, even though I'm honestly not that tall, like there's people that are like 6'5". I think I'm like 5'9" or 8. But I always think like, what if I am the tallest person that I've ever rode this ride and like those like poles that are holding the coaster together,
yeah.
like what if they hit me in the face? But that's obviously a very irrational fail, but I do always do a mild duck. It's not like so dramatic, but kind of a mild one.
Can you imagine if they even had it kind of close? Like even if they had it 3 feet away, that would be way too close.
Yeah, but it just feels like it's so close when you're on the ride.
I know, I actually get that.
Icing on top of the cake was when I got off, they were playing Like a G6 by Dove and the Cataracts, and I feel like that honestly made the roller coaster that much fun because it felt like the perfect ending.
Wait, that actually brought back a memory of me when I was waiting for you. That song was playing and this like 10-year-old was singing to it to her friend, and her friend said, you know this song? She said, and then she got kind of embarrassed and she said, well, yeah, like my mom plays it a lot. That's weird thinking that that's like a mom song now.
Wait, that's so weird.
I know, and like it was kind of embarrassing for her to like, for the other 10-year-old to be like, why are you singing to this song?
Now we're entering another land in Dreamworld. This is called Ocean Parade. By the way, when we were at Dreamworld, we weren't aware of any of this. Like I didn't know we were entering Ocean Parade, but looking at it in retrospect, I'm like, oh, it makes sense because there was beach houses, there was some beach chairs. Oh my gosh, we're by the beach, and it's kind of funny they had like fake beach vibes because literally if you went like 15 minutes out of Dreamworld, you're actually at the beach.
Oh yeah, that is funny. I didn't even realize. Okay, so this is a whole different world within the world.
There was an American hot dog vendor in the beach cultural part of the theme park. One of our 20 friends that were with us that day got that.
So red. It looked so fake. It was like a crayon.
The next ride I was going on was the Gold Coaster, and I think it's paying homage to the Gold Coast because this is in the Gold Coast of Australia, and it's like neon blue. It kind of felt like you were entering, I'm just gonna say the 50s, even I feel like that's so over. I don't even know if that is the 50s, but
yeah, I just feel like it feels like a beach roller coaster, which is what it's supposed to be. It just feels like it would be on a pier, you know, on Jersey Shore or something.
This roller coaster used to be the tallest roller coaster in the Southern Hemisphere, but now it's one of the tallest. It's kind of crazy to me because looking at the roller coaster, coaster. It doesn't even look that tall, but I guess it used to be the tallest. And I was kind of thinking, like, that's an interesting flex, like the tallest roller coaster in the southern hemisphere.
Used to be.
Yeah, it used to be. If we're looking at the southern hemisphere, there is like a bunch of land. There's like South Africa, South America. I honestly am not familiar if those areas have a bunch of theme parks, but I'm just gonna assume they do. With this video, I'm kind of becoming a historian, because something I realized about this roller coaster is that it used to be at Luna Park in Sydney. That's a theme park in Australia. And then they got moved to Dreamworld in 2001.
What?
And I didn't even know that they would move a roller coaster like hundreds of miles away. That's crazy.
Never gone on that for sure, even though I didn't go on it anyway, but I for sure wouldn't have gone on it if I knew it was transported across Australia. Like, that just seems scary. Did it feel janky then?
Thinking about it now, I get that it was transported from Sydney, Australia to the Gold Coast, because it honestly wasn't a fun ride. Like, it was very rickety. There was a point in the roller coaster where my neck just got like whipped, and it did cause a little bit of like, oh my gosh, is my neck gonna fall off my body? But I was fine. But honestly, this is a roller coaster. One is enough. It's to me, it just wasn't fun. Also, when I was getting on this ride, there was like these teenage girls that were gonna sit by me, and they said, "So, is it fine if we sit by you?" I was just honestly having like this weird existential thing, because I was like, wait, old enough to be called soul? Like, I didn't know that. Like, I'm like, royalty. Saying soul makes it feel like I'm royalty or something.
I remember one time someone in Australia, I was talking to them and they said, "Pardon?" That made me feel, that gave me the same vibe to me. I'm like a royal person?
Yeah,
like,
because it feels so elegant.
I know, because usually in America, you say, if you don't understand something, you say, "What?" But there they say, "Pardon?" And it was like, oh my God. Like, I just felt so special. I was like, whoa.
There was this ride called The Claw. This seems like it's a big part of Dreamworld. It's kind of in the center, you could say. And it's one of those classic rides. It's a circle that goes back and forth. Oh my gosh, we've all been on it. You've been on that, I've been on that. I was kind of thinking about going on it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go on it. But it kept like being closed throughout the day, and then it would be open. So I decided not to go on it because I got kind of scared. Like, oh, is it keep breaking down, or are they just fixing it? I wasn't completely sure, so I didn't go on it. But something that's interesting is that we went like mid-January, but I think like a few weeks later, this ride actually shut down because they're replacing it with an even bigger claw, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
So now this ride isn't even there. Bless you. Soul pardon. Champagne showers. Champagne showers. Me and Lucas were kind of thinking, okay, let's do a champagne shower, but the bar wasn't even open.
Couldn't they give everyone the option to get drunk and slizzard like a G6 if they want?
Oh. Now we're entering Food Central. This is the place, like the name makes it obvious, that has a bunch of food. They have Kenny's Fried Chicken, a sandwich shop, probably a few other things. Everyone was getting lunch because it was about noon.
So Kenny is an animal and he's betraying his fellow animals and frying them up.
I guess we're animals and we're betraying our fellow animals.
That's true. I always forget that we're also animals. We are not these special beings. We're just part of the animal kingdom. I actually noticed while we were in line for lunch that there was a little show going on right next to us. It was these two koalas performing, but we missed it. That might have been Kenny and Belinda.
Yeah, it was the famous koalas. It was very busy, as I said, but thankfully we found a table because people let us sit by them. I got a Cuban sandwich.
I got the worst choice ever, a gluten-free chicken wrap, and it was just, why would you go to a theme park and get that? Is what I'm wondering now. So I remember the wrap was so hard, it was so gross. And there was a little lizard next to me, and at first I was like, oh my God, it's so cute. But then some kid came and like started messing with it, and then it started actually moving, and I was like, if you're gonna make this lizard bite me and attack me, like, get the F away from me.
We actually had to eat the rest of our lunch standing up because we got scared of the lizard. My Cuban sandwich was good, but I was honestly just disgusted with myself because I was too impatient to wash my hands before I ate this because I didn't want to wait in line for the bathroom. Honestly, I made up the wait in line. You don't have to wait in line for the men's restroom most of the time.
Yeah, there's never a line.
I just felt disgusted, like I'm for sure gonna get sick, but it's a month later and I didn't get sick. And like, sometimes you don't need to wash your hands. Can we admit that?
Well,
No,
I think
I'm joking. We
germs are
should
good
wash.
for you sometimes. I think if you lived around no germs, you get sick more, right?
I forgot to mention that Dreamworld is also a zoo, which is another similarity between this and Disney World. Disney World has the Animal Kingdom, which is a zoo. Dreamworld has a zoo too.
With all the classic Aussie animals and creatures.
Oh my gosh, we're walking through a snake! Dingoes. This is like a wild dog.
I was thinking like it's a little bit dramatic to have it in this cage. I was like, I know if they let it out, we'd all be able to pet it and it would just be wagging its tail. Like it's literally just a golden retriever.
Dreamworld knows that having a zoo isn't enough. I already have seen all that stuff. It's like, oh, we've already saw a picture of it before, so we already are bored. So they have these games incorporated. Like there was this game where you have like a lasso or something and you hit buckets. It wasn't even fun, but it was like a cool add-on. Kangaroos!
From being a kid, a kangaroo was one of the main animals that everyone was obsessed with. 'Cause it was like, wait, they have a pocket that's all gooey that a baby goes in. Like, but remember when I first saw them in real life, I was surprised because I swear photos, the cartoons and stuff made them look way taller and stuff.
Oh, okay, that's something that I realized too. From my experience seeing kangaroos in real life, they don't look like what you picture them to look
And I swear they photoshopped them in American books.
Koalas! We actually held a koala last year, and it was so cool being able to hold one, but I also was so scared because when we were holding one, the trainer was saying, like, by the way, like, I've all these scratches on my arms because they get really mad, and like, they're very tired, so they're really mad.
They're just always sleeping, or they're not sleeping and in a bad mood and attacking people, basically. Or doing this weird noise trying to attract women, like the male koalas. Remember they were doing that weird mating call?
Yeah.
And they have this gross like patch on their chest that's all slimy that's supposed to attract people. They are just always
people.
They're either sleeping, fighting, or trying to like bang people.
That's what everyone's doing, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I guess that is just like humans. Emus!
Wow.
Basically, ostrich.
Have they ever heard about shampooing their hair, though?
I know, they are filthy. It's like, girl, do something.
Hopping Mouse House. When we first walked in here, I honestly thought we were gonna have to open a door and there'd be a bunch of hopping mouses jumping all over us, but that's not what it was.
Hopping mice.
That's how you speak when you're corn-fed. All that corn goes to your brain and you
That's
don't really
true.
know how to function, you know? There was also wombats, which is another iconic Australian mammal.
Isn't that a lot of times at zoos? They say, oh, this is it. And then you look around and it's like they're literally hiding because they do not want to be here at all.
This is the most dangerous part of the Dreamworld Zoo. There's a crocodile exhibit, and we were actually excited because at 1:30 they were going to have a feeding for the crocodile, and we were like, oh my gosh, we want to see this.
I want to see it eat live animals.
Thankfully, there was a sign that said extremely dangerous. Even though we want to jump in because it's very hot out, we want to get cooled off, we shouldn't.
I
because it's
know.
extremely dangerous.
Yeah, it is a good thing they had those signs because I kept being tempted. Like, should I go in? And I was like, no. Like, I read the sign and I was like, no.
So then 1:30 rolled around and the trainer came out and everyone was so hyped. There was like everyone was close to the glass. But then they said, okay, so if you came here for the feeding, that's not happening today, but come back tomorrow and it's gonna happen tomorrow. So immediately I just left.
I know. We stayed for like 3 minutes because she was like, I'll just tell you facts about them. But then after 3 minutes, it was like, this is a waste of time. Like, have you ever heard of Wikipedia?
They had Tasmanian devils too, and this is the most interesting Australian animal to me because it's like it actually has devil in the name. But I did read somewhere that at the zoo that it said that they actually aren't dangerous unless provoked. So maybe they actually don't live up to the name devil.
When we first got a computer, there was like a weird like encyclopedia of all these animals, and I would always watch a video of a Tasmanian devil.
There was a bunch of living creatures in this area. Snakes, owls, but then it leads you to Tiger Island, which is one of the biggest parts of the zoo. It's Tiger Island, oh my gosh.
Tigers.
This is another controversial part of Dreamworld. So I didn't really even want to look at the tigers because I was like, they're probably angry. Tigers are very cool, but also if they weren't in that cage, we'd probably all get mauled. So
Yeah, they
maybe
wanted nothing to do with it.
Can we just talk about how much merch all of these amusement parks have? It's actually insane. So you're done with the zoo park. You enter this merch store with all of this merch for Tiger island, stuffed animals, and it just makes me think like, wow, amusement parks are the definition of like, let's make everything into merch because someone's gonna buy it sometime over the next 5 years.
I know, and luckily, like, those stuffed animals never go overdue. Like, they could sell those in 2050 even.
Now we're entering the Rivertown section of Dreamworld. It's sort of jungle adventure themed, and there's a brand new roller coaster in this area that opened in 2024 called Jungle Rush.
Oh, this one looked cool. You're going through a cave and stuff, or a mountain.
This is one of those overly themed rides. Like, just to get in line for the roller coaster, you have to walk through this cave. It seems like a lot of these amusement parks aren't really doing just roller coasters anymore. They're doing like roller coaster experiences, and that's what this is. When I got up to the roller coaster, they asked me, do you want to go backwards or forwards? And I was like, wait, I get to pick which way I want to go? Of course I want to go backwards. I want to get a little bit freaky deaky, you know?
Oh, so there's always one going forward and one going backwards, back to back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, when I was watching from the outside, I was so confused because it looked like the roller coaster was being transported to another track each time.
Yeah, so you start the roller coaster and then it switches to another track, which I was like, okay, this is kind of freaky, but I guess it will work. Most of it was inside through this like jungle thing. It felt like you were kind of like Indiana Jones, maybe.
Was it fast, or was it more of like a slow thing so you could take it all in?
It was definitely fast, but I could tell that the goal with this ride was to create a family ride. Most of the time, no one would be scared of it because there's no loops or anything. You would go on it, and it's not even like scary. Like, even the buckle, I think, is just over your waist. It's not like over your head.
Oh, yeah.
It's more of just a ha ha ha. It's not like that's the vibe of the ride. Now we're entering a new part of Dreamworld, Kenny and Belinda's Dreamland. This is honestly like the little kid part of the theme park, a bunch of child rides. We arrived at the perfect time to Kenny and Belinda's Dreamland because right then they were having a show, these bananas, and I honestly was like, what? Why are bananas performing? Like, I guess kids think that's cool, but it's based off a show in Australia, a children's show called Bananas in Pajamas. So I guess Dreamworld, I'm assuming, owns the rights to that show so they can use it. While I was filming this, one of the employees came up to us and said, oh, if you guys actually want to see the show, sit down, there's a bunch of room. And we both just awkwardly laughed because we honestly didn't want to see the show. I just wanted to have a glimpse of it for like 20 seconds.
Like, once you see it for 5 seconds, you get the point. Like, oh, it's bananas in pajamas dancing around, you know?
This ride looked pretty cool. I honestly didn't look that pretty cool, but I was like, I want to go on it just to relive being a kid, I guess. It's called Humpty Go Round. It's themed after Humpty Dumpty, I think.
A little
Humpty
egg man.
Dumpty crack the egg. I'm assuming that's royalty free now, right? Like, it's just
definitely has to be royalty free by now. Public domain.
This is one of those laying down rides where you're laying down the entire time, and it very much reminds me of one that would be at a traveling fair. I feel like I've probably been on this ride at some point in my life, if I would assume. Sharing is the coolest. Sharing is the coolest. Songs like that just kept playing, and I'm assuming they're songs from children's shows or something.
Mm-hmm. You were having the most fun of anyone on the ride. Weren't you like screaming, but no one else was? You learned how to express yourself.
True, through the evolution of it. Yeah.
So before everyone cancels me, I did go on one ride at Dreamworld. It was pretty intense. It was the Bananas in Pajamas carousel.
I'm just pissed that I didn't grow up with bananas in pajamas because I just know I would have effed with that so hard.
But does it ring a bell even kind of to you? Because for some reason, seeing a banana in pajamas, it is somewhere in my mind. Is that just something that's in people's minds, do you think?
I have a feeling that that's kind of the same idea of that one man that people say, he shows up in your dreams. I kind of think that's like bananas in pajamas. Like, you've seen it because it's in your dreams.
Oh yeah, it wasn't thrilling at all. And I started to wonder why I didn't actually go on the fun rides, but I guess it was something.
Definitely something. It honestly didn't really feel like I was even on a ride because it was going so slow, but
yeah.
There was a roller coaster in this part of the theme park called Kenny's Forest Flyer, and just a fun fact is this is actually Kenny's favorite ride.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that somewhere. It's crazy. He builds this theme park and he even goes on the rides. That's pretty cool.
It's not just all a money grab. He actually is doing it because he loves it.
Yeah, because he likes the rides too.
Aww.
I walked into the line and I saw that there wasn't a fast pass line, so I just turned around because I was like, this line is probably gonna take 30 minutes. And I think it's because the children's rides don't have fast passes. Maybe it honestly is because they don't want children's eyes to be tainted. Like, wait, people can pay extra to skip the line? Like, that's kind of an abuse of power, you could say.
That is always so annoying when you're a kid and you see all these like rich families going down the fast line.
I know.
And then you realize like money buys everything and like.
I think that's when like you actually like, that's like the very first time in my life where I was like, maybe we should eat the rich. And I know I now can have the luxury of getting a fast pass, but I still am like.
And that was the first time I was like, okay, time to create like a Shein type company.
To get a fast pass?
Yeah. My whole vibe was like, I'm going to join him.
Dreamworld has so many shows in this children's theater thing. Each time, no one's really watching it, but they keep the performers going. Now there's a sock hop rock, and I think the koalas were performing again.
Oh my God, just picturing the sweaty humans underneath those outfits. They're giving it their all.
You might be wondering, does Dreamworld have police or firefighters? They do have firefighters, and there was a button to call Cunny the koala to stop a fire. And even though I didn't see a fire, I was like, I'm gonna waste his time, you know? I'm gonna press the button, waste these firefighters' time. Even though there might be actually a fire happening in another part of Dreamworld, I just wanna press the button.
We pressed it multiple times though, and he always says he was on his way, but he never actually showed up. So it kind of proves that if something actually does go down at Dreamworld, Kenny isn't going to help anyone. He just claims he's on the way, but who knows what he's doing.
We had so much fun on the Banana in Pajamas carousel that we were like, we need to go on more rides that we can all enjoy. So we went on the Dreamworld Express. This is a theme park classic. They have a little railroad so you can explore the entirety of Dreamworld on a railroad. So you don't have to walk.
It actually was very short though. Weren't they doing construction on most of it?
Definitely something was up because it only lasted like 10 minutes and it stopped at the zoo part of the park, but we just stayed on it and we went back to the Central Park station. And it is always nice going on these. There wasn't a show or anything, but it was nice because you just get to sit down after standing up for hours on end.
During a hot, humid day on the Gold Coast.
It's crazy that we're this far in the video and I have yet to talk about the most crazy ride at Dreamworld. The giant drop.
It's the first thing you see.
This has the big flex of being Australia's tallest free-falling ride. One of the coolest rides here, and there's no fast pass line. You actually have to wait in the actual line.
Couldn't only like 4 people go on at once? So I was like, girl, like this is gonna take way too long.
Yeah, let's just say 10 people could go on at once, but only one is going.
And it takes so long each one.
Yeah, so we were waiting in the line, but it was moving so slowly.
Snail pace. But I feel like that's why they don't allow a fast pass, because every time the fast pass people would go on.
I will admit, I was holding off going on this ride. This was towards the end of the day because I honestly, these are like the scariest rides to me at theme parks. These detonator free fall rides. And I think it stems from when I was younger. There was this big story about some theme park. There was a free falling ride and then a cable went loose and cut someone's leg off or something like that.
Yeah, both their legs got amputated.
Yeah, so I think I have a lot of fail with these free falling rides, but I was like, I'm just gonna bite the bullet. And this is so cool. It's so tall. I've never been on something like this. I'm just gonna blame it on the line being too long. I didn't go on it. There's a big possibility I'm never gonna go to Dreamworld again, so I'm gonna edit myself on the giant drop so we can all watch it. I went on it.
You could just cut out that whole entire explanation and just claim you went on it.
We were back in Main Street, and one of the busiest rides, it seemed like, was the Sky Voyager. I honestly wasn't even familiar with it because it was in a big building, so I honestly didn't even really know what I was getting myself into, but I was like, there's a bunch of people in line, so I'm assuming it's a very desirable ride to go on.
Even though there was a fast pass line, I swear I was waiting for a while for you to get on this one. This was the longest wait out of all of them.
It's because like there's only one ride going at once and it lasts like probably 10 minutes. You go in this room and they tell you all about the ride and you kind of feel like you're entering an experience. Like they make it this big thing. There's a video that they made and then you enter this like, it kind of felt like a theater and there's 2 rows. Like there's a top and a bottom and there's probably like 30 seats on each one. I was sitting on the top. It's like a 5D experience where they try to really immerse you into something. So for this one, it was supposed to be you get to see all of Australia in this Sky Voyager. It's gonna last like 10 minutes. You fly above different areas and you're just gonna fully be immersed in it.
Oh yeah, I've done that at Disneyland. They have the exact same ride.
At that point, I was like, I don't need to visit the rest of Australia because I've seen it. And since it's a 5D experience, there was a few times where like you're flying over the ocean and I think they're trying to spray like ocean water at you. But it honestly smelled like pickles. And I was like, does the ocean water smell like pickles? Like, is this just pickle juice? I'm confused.
Yeah, before we even went to Dreamworld, I just typed in on Google reviews stuck, and somebody said they were stuck on there for 20 minutes on that exact ride. And they said that it was very scary because no one was updating them on what was going on.
If I was gonna get stuck on a ride, I'd rather have it be this ride than a roller coaster. Closing time. One last time for alcohol. It was getting close to closing time. I decided I need to go one last time on the steel Taipan because this was definitely the star of Dreamworld to me.
You started with it, and now you're ending with it.
I could go on it 666 times and still have the ride of my life. And I actually sat front row.
Oh, that's crazy.
I just love these new roller coasters. I am a fan of wooden roller coasters. This one had no wooden roller coasters. That's an interesting fact.
Oh, because they probably burned all those down. Because didn't they shut down a lot of their rides?
Loved this roller coaster. I'm glad I went on a second time. And right next to it, there's a calming cottage that none of us used. I'm kind of surprised. None of us had to get calmed down for the entirety of a 8-hour run at Dreamworld. Dreamworld has a bunch of other stuff like carnival games, but it was closing time and we all kind of felt like we had our time at Dreamworld. I think it's time to go back to reality, wake up. So we simply got the merch that we're wearing right now. Dreamworld to me was super fun, but I do have to admit, I did leave thinking, wait, there is definitely better theme parks that I've been to.
Theming was really great, and the rides, I didn't go on any of them really, but they looked fun. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's the biggest Australia has, so.
Honestly, I'm so glad I went to Dreamworld and it was still a fun experience. Something funny is that you actually have been in a dream while watching this video. So right when this video ends, you're gonna wake up from the dream and hopefully you weren't driving when you started this video because you probably would have gotten in a car wreck. But hopefully that isn't what happened. But yeah, bye.
You've been asleep for 50 years.